Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jake, the Scary Story Guy. Sorry I haven't posted in a couple months. It was the perfect storm. I got sick and lazy in the same month. But today I'm back with an announcement that I am really excited about. Over the last year and a half, this channel has documented my fairly mortifying attempts to learn how to use a camera, editing software, and after 26 reviews of some of the best and worst horror movies on offer, I think I'm finally starting to get the hang of it. However, if you are one of my 153 fiercely loyal subscribers, you may have noticed that a certain figure in the horror genre, arguably the most important figure in the horror genre, has been conspicuously absent this whole time. Stephen Edwin King has published 65 novels and counting, as well as over 200 short stories, many works of nonfiction, collections, screenplays, and I've been deliberately avoiding discussion of every single one of them up until now. Ever since I started this channel, I've known that I want to dive deep into the Stephen King literary universe, and I'm finally ready to start. Now, this channel isn't going to exclusively become the Stephen King fan club. I'm still going to talk about a bunch of other spooky stuff too. But if you've ever wanted to drown in an ocean of Stephen King IP, this is the channel for you, because I have a goal to review every single one of Stephen King's published works, as well as the popular films and TV series based on them. And I'm doing this, simply put, because I view Stephen King as someone who has fundamentally transformed the way that we in modern culture think about not just the horror genre, but stories more generally. A man whose contributions are as vast and dynamic as King's are deserves to have his work chronicled, so I thought, why not do the job myself? Now, I don't just want to rant into the void here. Believe it or not, it's my hope that some people actually watch these videos. Well, why should they? What makes my dumb ass worth listening to? Well, aside from my fairly symmetrical face and incisive wit, I have actually tried my hand at writing a few scary stories myself, and people generally seem to like them, I think. In fact, one story that I wrote, which was actually inspired by the works of Stephen King, enjoyed a 3-year reign as the top-rated post of all time on the No Sleep subreddit. I've received a lot of kind messages about my stories over the years, but some of my favorite have been people telling me that what I just wrote reminded them of Stephen King. It's a weird mixture of flattering and, like, being offended that someone just took the Lord's name in vain in my presence. It also feels like the literary equivalent of, I don't know, watching a youth basketball game and then telling some kid he looked like LeBron James out there. Now, one thing to mention is that I've only read about half of King's bibliography, which is, you know, no small feat in itself. But what that means is that some of these reviews, they're going to be content that I'm revisiting, whereas others I get to look at with fresh eyes. And let me just say, I am not interested in a Stephen King, excuse me, circle jerk here. The man has written some stinkers, in my view, so I'm going to be providing a critical perspective on top of, deeply admiring his contributions to horror. Gotta put that English degree to some use, right? Now, this also means that I, the Scary Story Guy, am going to be branching out from the horror genre at times with this series because, despite his reputation, any true Stephen King fan knows that some of his greatest literary works have not been horror at all. My favorite movie of all time is The Shawshank Redemption, which is based on a Stephen King novella. And even though the story is horrifying at times, it is not a horror story. One of my favorite novels of all time is King's 11/22/63, about a man who goes back in time to stop the JFK assassination. Thrilling, yes. Supernatural, yes. But not horror. If Stephen King was a one-trick pony, I wouldn't be doing this series. It's the breadth of his work, along with the depth, that makes me feel like taking a comprehensive look is going to be worth the effort. I've actually just finished reading his newest book, a fantasy novel called Fairy Tale, which I'll be dropping a review of shortly, so stay tuned for that. But of course, it is King's contributions to the horror genre that will ultimately define his legacy, which means I've been lying to you all for some time now. I am not the Scary Story Guy. Not yet, anyway. I can't be until I start talking about the master of scary stories himself. So let's fix that. The comprehensive Stephen King review series starts right now.